We'll be back from the break. You're still watching Business Today. Our focus now turns on digital services. Development in technology has enabled a change in approach to its public-private sector governance. As World Bank's GovTech modernizes public service and governance through accessible technology, the private sector isn't far back, as ANSYS is illustrated by the Africa Digital Media Institute. We have details.
World Bank, through its digital-driven governance approach, is dedicated to implementing fast and accessible public service through digital solutions for different countries. During Government Tech Global Forum, the financial institution acknowledged how different governments are able to utilize the digital space. Operations Director Anjad reveals that economies are being supported and financed for purposes of sustainability, resilience, and inclusion.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw how governments were able to use technology to monitor hotspots and to continue delivering services, accelerating digitalization in many countries. During conflict, technology can be a lifeline to services and information. In Ukraine, for example, the DIA app is providing 21 million users with access to digital IDs and passports, birth certificates, and over 70 government services. The impact of digitalization on development and governance cannot be overstated.
As Africa's approach rests in different modules, such as the 10-year digital transformation strategy, different countries have been prepared for digital revolution to aid transformation of public services, as essentially it is with the private sector SMEs. Locally, the national backbone infrastructure is considered as a critical component of digital transformation to bridge public-private sector challenges.
The reason we have this engagement today, bringing most of the development partners from Europe, is for us to have a discussion and conversation around how we can together transform digital transformation in this country. Now, when we say transform digital transformation, we know that in his speech for the past, I think 2 years, and even for the year that we are planning for in 2023-2024, ICT is one of those priorities that this government is taking forward. And the way in which we can do this is to bring together all these people who help us in the digital transformation journey, because we cannot do it alone as government, we cannot do it alone as a Ministry of ICT, but we have to partner with the development partners, we have to partner with the private sector, we have to partner with academia, and so many other innovators and the fellow government entities as well. Now, when we do the transformation, the end goal is, because someone can wonder, you're talking about ICT, how are we benefiting from ICT? At the end of the day, we get employment opportunities out of ICT.
The sector plays, for instance, in the media space, one of the most technology-reliant areas, acknowledge the impact and role of the digital space in enterprise growth and development. Africa Digital Media Institute's new CEO, Agre Oliwo, emphasizes the need to expand digital training solutions that will help businesses and individuals upskill and reskill in high-demand areas.
Being able to participate in the digital economy gives you the independence of being an entrepreneur in your own self. We are equipping the youth with the kind of skills that they need to be able to participate in the digital economy. What I believe can be done is organizing the African market, organizing the Kenyan market, and recruiting people who are ready to participate in the global economy. I also believe that the infrastructure around technology and accessibility and ease of reach, I think those are things that are working for places like Kenya.
As digital revolution persists, further investment is set to remedy shortfalls in public-private sector growth and development as tech-driven startups, innovations and services crop up. Bronia Katsime, Masi Katsime, SMART24 TV, Business Today.
And we turn our eyes to broad renewable energy. Uganda has recently increased our ambition of reducing its greenhouse emissions to 24.7% by 2030, where renewable is envisaged to play a pivotal role. Therefore, the Center for Research in Energy and Energy Conservation has empowered individuals in the Fast Solar Mini-Grid Training Program to be agents in the promotion of modern energy technologies worldwide. We have details in this report.
Peter Lokeris, the Minister of State for Energy and Mineral Development, asserts that the government of Uganda is implementing policies, strategies and programs to encourage greater penetration of renewable energy sources in the nation's energy mix. According to the Third National Development Plan, the nation intends to boost its power usage from 100 kilowatts per hour in 2012 to 578 kilowatts in 2025, as well as the proportion of renewable energy used for cooking from 18% to 50% by the same year.
The fossil fuels were hazardous to the environment, world environment. People were not tuned to this. And the whole world is now moving and clamoring to make sure they really go to produce equipment for clean energy transition. And this is what you have been doing. They have told us, please mark time. If you don't move, it is so bad. And it should not be Uganda, which will be left behind to be polluting the environment.
These strategies are directly related to the mini-grid training that Creek Academy provided in support of the Stratum Energy Research Center, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and the East African Center for Excellence for Renewable Energy and Efficiency. According to Mary Susan Abo, the Managing Director of CREC, the National Electrification Strategy calls for up to 1 million households to be connected using off-grid technologies, with this group building 200 small grids in remote areas.
We will also be able, through the Academy, to measure the impact of the trainings. There are several trainings that have been done. We've also done many trainings before, as we've been in existence for over 20 years, but we now want to check that whatever knowledge is transferred through the trainings in the Academy is tracked, on usage is tracked, in terms of jobs created, jobs sustained, systems installed and maintained to run their full life. And we have embedded knowledge management tools within the training. It's a blended approach where we have on-site training with the practicals, but also online trainings using tools that can be tracked over months, over years, to ensure that whatever we're investing in the trainings, the materials that are carefully created are actually going to be used by the participants.
This is a timely venture in the energy sector, as many financiers are focusing their resources on developing energy solutions in a bid to achieve the standard development goals.
There's a lot of funding as well as a lot of push to give energy access as we go to achieve the standard development goals that each member party agreed to. So mini grids have been identified as, again, the most viable technology to bring energy access. And it's timely because there's quite a lot of funding, even in Uganda, in mini grids, and we need to set up sustainable mini grids. And this can only come from good project planning, which is brought about by capacity building and knowledge exchange.
The beneficiaries appreciate the professionalism impacted into them and also express confidence in Uganda's energy sector, provided knowledge exchange is put at the forefront of each program.
This has been a really worthy training, especially in terms of knowledge, increase of knowledge, because that is something that the energy sector is lacking. So it's very important to have people out there who really know what to do and who can also spread this gospel of mini grids and solar.
It has opened up a room of imagination because we have been looking at small solar systems, but it has actually shown that solar has big capabilities with appropriate technology and appropriate training, which have actually got today.
The government plans to make investments in mini-grids more attractive through establishing frameworks like the capital subsidies for mini-grid projects, VAT tax waivers on imported solar products, and encouraging innovations in productive use of energy. Margaret Nachiganda, SMART24 TV, Business Today.
Now, we focus on the tax revenue obligations for the agro, small and medium-sized enterprises. Despite the exemptions on the agricultural supply inputs such as fertilizers, refrigerated trucks, plus other value-added tax exemptions, for instance, on acaricides, agro SMEs are still struggling to achieve sustainability. In the first of a series of tax amendments, there is extra uncertainty. Martha was in a conversation earlier on with Kisoma Daudi, an agroeconomist, to expound on the crisis plus market access.
Thank you for tuning in SMART24 TV. Well, the agriculture sector has an exemption. It has that luck. Government has let them have that freedom of having a free VAT experience on some of their products. They have that as a privilege to help them, thrive. Since the country is also agriculture based, this is going to be like a privilege for them to grow. This 18% is on mainly the seed products, for example. But still the sector has loopholes. It is still not growing and thriving to the places we expect it to be. Well, to answer some of those questions with me is Kisoma Daudi from the former the East African Seed Company. He's going to be breaking with us. He's going to be telling us how are they surviving. Even with these tax exemptions, why are they still having some of these problems? As an agroeconomist, he's going to be giving us from his own experience. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes. We have it on the table to discuss that, the agriculture sector has that privilege, the tax exemption on the seed products, for example, the 18% VAT free. But still there are challenges. Why do you think there are still those challenges in this sector?
Well, my name is Kisoma Daudi. As you said earlier, I'm an agronomist working with Silver Seed Uganda Limited, formerly East African Seed. Our farmers out there may just be looking at tax exemption, the 18%, but the sector is really affected with a lot of things that actually, if I'm to mention, you may wonder why products are too expensive. Somebody may just be thinking of the tax exemption of 18%, but we have other taxes that we pay. Yes. We have the importation tariffs and the custom tariffs.
But other suppliers or other people in the business venture, if just in case they would hear that, they'll be like, but you guys are lucky. You have that 18%.
That is where I want to drive their mind.
Yes.
Because they are not aware of that. For them, they are just looking at the 18% exemption. But there are other things that are not brought on the table for them to see and to know. And one of them is the custom and the importation tariffs. Because most of our seeds, most of our chemicals are imported from recognizable producers abroad. So when you are bringing them, these charges, you have to incur them. For them, they are not exempted from there. When we are distributing them, our vans are subjective to wherever they stop to local government charges. You see that? Yes. But when somebody just talks about 18% exemption, the farmer will be like, that sector is okay if they are exempted with 18%. We have other charges that are still affecting us.
So the other taxes?
We still pay other taxes.
Exactly. How about, now it goes back still to you guys, the agronomists. Imagine you had these chemicals manufactured from Uganda. What is stopping you from manufacturing all these chemicals from our country?
Right now we may not have the needed raw materials for production or manufacture of these chemicals. That is why we shall be keeping at importing them. But if, like recently in Tororo, our government has started manufacturing the phosphate fertilizers. Yes. You see that? So where these discoveries are being conducted and these minerals are there from where these chemicals are manufactured from, we can as well do that in our country. It is not just something you will wake up in the morning and start. You need technical persons on ground, the equipments. You see all of those. Yes. That is why we are not manufacturing them here. Yeah, but for other things like the seeds, because for them you are not manufacturing, you are just multiplying. For the seeds, we can do multiplication within around East Africa, though we do still have others that we import from outside Africa.
So besides that other taxes, which other challenges the agriculture sector still not thrive as a person would expect it to be?
I will talk about the uncontrollable climate change, because however smart you are, you cannot control climate change. The season has been always from this month up to the other month, but this time around it isn't. Now for you to be in a position to cope up with that, it may not be necessary. Number two, our farmers still have less knowledge about the industry. Our farmers have always been used to growing indigenous crop varieties, not using chemicals, but here we are looking right now at advancement in whatever that we are doing. We are reducing on growing something that will spend 7-8 years to give us the produce, to something that we can grow in 2 years to give us the produce. You see that? So our farmers will do still lack information. The other thing is the policy making from our central government. Just as I said earlier, that somebody will be just looking at the 18% exemption and be like that sector is okay. But we have other taxes that we still what?
But still, agriculture still gets the most highlights in a year, for example. When centers when that money came, mainly SACCOs, I'm a farmer, I have this or this. When NADS is actually there for you guys, NARO is there for you people. Literally, if you step into Uganda, every place you go to, you don't miss out any agricultural initiative there to support farmers. But still, is the problem with our value addition?
You know, this is a chain whereby at every step there are the controllers available there. You mess up with one controller, the whole system is gone.
Spoiled, yes.
It's spoiled. So you may see that from production stage, transportation to processing is okay. Then the packaging comes to be what? A problem. So that one may be still a challenge, to us that we can control it, because it is a process. At every stage, there are certain things attached that must be fulfilled for it to
thrive.
Yes.
What is lacking with the awareness? I thought all resources are available. School is there, besides school, the internet is there to inform these farmers. Even without the internet, for example, local governments, there are those plans through the local government, through the RDC's office. People get to know there's something for farmers somewhere. Why is still there? Why is there a problem?
Yes, to, I will say, a small extent, internet is there. I don't know if you talk about internet, whether my mother in the village has a smartphone to access internet.
Comes in.
You see that? I don't know whether somebody, because internet, if you say that awareness, we are not talking about one thing.
Yeah.
We have different modules through which we can get information. Radio, TV, right now, digital world. But still, you will see that we are not concentrating towards agriculture when we are using this information. Less time is given. Like if you say that we have radios, how many radios do advertise for agriculture in the daily program when they are running? You people of TV, how many times in a day do you concentrate on agriculture? So right now what you concentrate with, for example, you media, it is entertainment, and that is where our youth have gone. So if at all you channel that instead of this time of entertainment, we reduce it and it is agriculture, you see how the youth are going to be.
Yes, but then I interacted with someone in agribusiness. This is from Enebotat, it's some organization. They said even besides youths giving them a chance to, get into agriculture, they are still lacking the fact that they haven't experienced the adventures or the beauty in agriculture.
And that one comes from you being aware of what you are doing.
And having, you guys in agriculture sector should look at sharing success stories. Like if there's a livelihood program for the youth, where they come and, I got this money from, for example, youth livelihood program, or from UWEP for the women, I would learn a lot. Like people would have that chance. But still, that is still having a problem. Why is it still so even with this program?
If you say that we can share information, for example, successful stories, yes, it is okay, but how many people have shared successful stories in agriculture? You see that?
Yes.
Another thing is, to whom are you sharing that information? If somebody has negative perception towards agriculture, will that somebody be real conversant, and will he or she concentrate in getting that knowledge? Of course, you know. So here, the basic problem here I see is that the society, though calculation, statistics have it that agriculture is a backbone, but less has been done in terms of awareness. Less has been done. And in addition to awareness, even you cannot do agriculture that is commercial. Right now we are channeling from domestic production to commercial production. Yes. Commercial production has its own key aspects that it needs. We need the land, we need the mechanization, meaning that the things we need in doing this modern farming are nowhere to be seen. They're expensive. The technology is involved. We are talking about climatic change.
That is the
it has been a season and it is not raining for like 4 months.
Now
we need irrigation.
Now the part of climate change, I want you to relate to, you see the Chisoro and Tambara mudslides happening right now. For example, what would an agronomist or anyone into the agriculture, you have farmers, you have to supply to these items in such places. And besides the transportation part, how are you trying to mitigate the problems of climate change?
Well, always when we are given an opportunity to talk to people, for us we are not a one-crop seed-based company. Okay. We deal in a variety of what? Products. Yes. Meaning that what may not suit you this season can work better the other season, depending on which localities. Now, instead of concentrating in the production of one thing, we do advise our farmers to diversify.
To mitigate
their production must be diversified. If I have 2 acres of land, quarter I plant maize, quarter an acre I plant watermelon, I plant tomatoes, I plant trees, I grow, I go maybe in a piggery somewhere, apiary somewhere. You see that? Meaning that if, for example, in Kisoro, the landslides, if they have destroyed the crops, you remain with the other enterprise standing. And the other thing also, I think it will be the government. I will say that government must advocate for agricultural insurance, whereby if we have registered farmers in our country, say, let me use the landslide scenario right now in Kasese, that the area of people that was affected had, say, 100 registered farmers.
Insured farmers?
Insured farmers. Those people would be compensated by the insurance company. But maybe we still, maybe the other time when I opted to be a member of parliament, a lawmaker, I will talk about that for in case an opportunity is given. So, very many things needs to be put in line to say that the sector can real make what people suspect it of.
Lastly, the East African Business Expo has come up to support our local businesses, even the foreign ones, and help them grow. Now we have a chance of procurement people around the PPDA, but still SMEs are not yet registered. You as a registered venture, give us some of the benefits you've gotten to entice other guys to come and get into registration, or they come and be procured about something.
Well, registration, our country and everything moves by rule of law, and registration is a mandate for you to live along even agro businesses, but even in other businesses. It is you first to go and register with the government, and registering means that you are not a fake entity. You really exist. You comply with the paying tax to the government. You will not bring things that will cause harm to the environment, to the people. You are genuine. So if you are not registered and you are in the agro processing industry, it is really, very bad. And I dislike that. What I can say is that if you are not registered, it is high time you go and register, and you enjoy the benefit of being registered. You will not be chased. They will not be looking for you. You know, so it is really important. You will have that business freedom. You can bring in each and everything that you want, so long as it is by law accepted. So there isn't any way you will succeed in agro-processing business when you are registered. I argue every person that is not registered to go and be registered.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daudi. See, this conversation has really been driven towards helping a farmer out there to understand that even with the tax exemption the agriculture sector has, there's still a lot to be done in terms of diversification and value addition. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Martha Nimsima, for that. Kenya and Germany have held talks aimed at deepening bilateral relations and improving the business environment as Nairobi expects to harness technical vocational education and training. Now, Germany intends to further invest in renewable energy, digital technology and agriculture to emphasize its investment goals. Naomi Mutumba reports.
The rich historical ties between Kenya and Germany date back to 1963 upon the attainment of independence. Germany became the first state to recognize the nation, inspiring strong trade relations between the two countries, and over the years this has grown stronger. According to statistics, Germany is one of Kenya's largest trading partners, and increased investment from German companies can have a significant impact on Kenya's economy. In 2020, trade between Kenya and Germany amounted to approximately $472 million, with Germany imports from Kenya primarily consisting of coffee, tea and cut flowers. Total German investment in Kenya stood at $230 million in sectors such as renewable energy, healthy care and infrastructure. In his speech, President William Ruto indicates the need to deepen bilateral relations and improve business environment to attract more German investors.
Delegation which is here with us, which has accompanied the Chancellor to explore and exploit the huge untapped investment opportunities in Kenya. I also invite them to take advantage of Kenya and Nairobi's natural geostrategic advantage and use our capital as the gateway and hub for their regional and continental investments.
The Germany delegation has expressed interest in expanding the investment portfolio in Kenya, particularly in the areas of renewable energy, agriculture and digital technology. Germany has pledged to cooperate in and address climate change through developing new technologies to boost renewable energy.
And therefore, the new level of investment required for green energy, for hydrogen energy and hydrogen technology, for fertilizer and the new scale-up will just be a second phase. We are in discussion with our German brothers and sisters to leverage on their technology, to leverage on their investment, to grow the space that will eventually take us to hydrogen technology, to ammonia, and to fertilizer manufacture using green energy.
Personal perspective is that a lot of the technological advantages we developed the last years and decades could be used all over the globe. And we should really understand that our biggest aim must be that there is a growth of wealth in many countries of the world, that they are looking for having a similar standard of living as we have it in Europe or in the north of America, for instance.
President Ruto further admits the move to harness technical vocational education and training programs to fix labor migration, as well as merging MSMEs for both countries through the Hustler Fund.
Both the Kenyan and German economies. What we seek is synergy to enrich learning and grow the economy from the bottom up. Germany has agreed to enhance the capacity of the Financial Inclusion Fund, the Hustler Fund, to increase affordable and easy access to credit for unbanked MSMEs.
Kenya is Germany's lead trading partner in East Africa, although the trade balance discredits it. The need to review tariff barriers and aid access to German and European market is, however, still pursued. Naomi Mutumba, SMART24 TV, Business Today.
And it's a wrap from us to you. It is officially 10 o'clock. We wish you all the best for the evening. I'm JORAM SSONKO with Winnie Wins and Akauchi on for the sign language interpretation. For all of you who have joined our broadcast tonight, That has been our business today for Friday, the 6th of May 2023. And we continue to be with you the 5th of May 2023. And we shall definitely be with you on Monday, the 8th of May. Sunday, you'll be getting up with Pedison Mumbere in the business edition to give you a recap of our top stories here on Business Today. With Winnie Buyinza Nakauchi, we want to say good evening and a good night.